Hey y'all, welcome and welcome back. I'm Monique, a pre-nursing student over the age of 30, and in this video, we're going to be talking all about prereqs for nursing school. All of the classes that you need to take before actually applying for the nursing school that you want to attend. I want to share this with you guys because I feel like when you are a nursing school student, when you are a pre-nursing school student, you often forget everything you went through because you're just so happy to be out of it. But I want to kind of rewind and go back and take you to the beginning, okay? From level one. There are levels to this thing, okay? So, level one is where we're going to start, and that's where you need to submit your transcript to the school that you want to attend, okay? And I mean your high school transcript and or your university or college transcript. Those are the very first things you'll need. High school, yes, and then university and or college, because you may actually be able to avoid taking some classes because you already have those credits, right? So for me, I had to get my high school transcript, which was very simple to do. I also want to note something that while getting these transcripts, sometimes they can cost you. Now, personally, it did not cost me, but I do know of other students that they have had to pay for these transcripts. And so that being the case, be prepared for, the email saying that you need to send over another one because the school may have misplaced it. What I'm trying to say is you may have to actually send over two copies versus one copy of a transcript just because the school was very busy and they could misplace the initial transcript that has been sent. Also, know too that you cannot just hand them a transcript. Most likely, your transcript will have to come directly from your high school to your college, okay? You cannot be the middle ground. So that's just something to note, okay? Now, the next thing I want to talk about too is level two is testing. Now, if you are a high school student watching this, most likely your SAT or your ACT will suffice. Like it will satisfy the need for letting them know where you need to start in your prereqs. But if you are an adult like me and you started school in your 30s, then you're going to have to actually take an entry level test. And that test can be called a couple of different things. I will leave the link to the test that I had to take. I will also leave the book that I used to study for that test in my video description, okay? So if you're interested in that and that's the one that you need to take, then those are some of the things that I did in order to pass them successfully. So there are three sections in this test. There's basically reading, writing, and math, okay? Most likely, if English is your first language or if you're fluent in English, you're going to be, do really well in your reading and writing. But then when it comes to your math, if you've been out of school like me for a very long time, you most likely will have to study. Okay. Now, I did take the math without studying that much, and I did have to go back and retake it. So, although I passed my reading and writing on the first try, the math I did retake. And I actually did that by making sure to study that time. So I made sure to finish the complete chapter within my practice test book, and I was good to go. So that's just something to note that, for math, if you're a little bit older, you may have to actually study a little bit harder just because we've been out of school for so long and we do not use the school, math every single day. I mean, unless you do, everybody's different. I know I didn't. So, yes, pass those tests, okay? And we're almost to level three. So, in level three, we're going to be actually filling out the applications for the school. So, upon submitting your transcript, upon taking your entry level test, you also have to do some administration work with actually applying for the school, okay? And that's probably the easiest part, right? Once you do that, you're good to go. So, you have everything lined up for you to start your classes, whether that's going to be the fall semester or the spring semester, okay? And I would like you to note as well everything that you need to take in order to be prepared for that particular school's nursing program. I say this because every school is different. There are some schools that actually require chemistry and some schools that do not. And so it's good for you to actually go to an orientation for the nursing school program if they offer that to actually know exactly what you need. Go on the school's website and get you a PDF, a printout of everything needed, or go up to the school to the admin office or the welcome office and ask for that piece of paper or that booklet that lets you know exactly what you should be signing up for as far as classes is concerned. You do not want to be taking classes that you do not need. That's another thing too, especially if you are paying for this out of your pocket and you do not have a grant or a scholarship, okay? So that is level three. All right. So far, keep up. We have our transcript, we have our entry level test, and then we have our admin work, and we have our classes. So we know what we're supposed to be taking. So we're going to be doing the whole class registration and all that, right? I do suggest having a counselor there to help you do it the very first time, especially if you're an adult. Again, you've been out of school for a while, just to make sure you're doing things correctly. So next up is deciding whether you want to be a full-time student or a part-time student. That is a possibility, especially if you are a full-grown adult with a full family and a full life. So you do not have to take all these classes in one semester. They're going to present that to you like that, but you don't have to do that. So you need to just ask, what is considered part-time versus full-time. I know for me, part-time was at least 6 hours, okay? So full time could be anywhere from 12 to something else. I don't know because I haven't done it, but I knew for my prereqs, I wanted to go slow and steady because I've been out of school for so long. I need to actually get into a routine of taking these tests and writing these papers. Okay. So I did not go to school full time. I went to school part time, which also speaks to why it took me a year and a half to finish, and I wouldn't have done it any other way because I feel like that is the safest way mentally to get this stuff done. Okay. So, anyway, again, you may be different, but that's just me. Now, that's that. Okay. So, part time and the credit hours. Figure that out for your school and then decide what you want to take and how you want to take it. Again, they will present to you, a printout showing you, 5 classes or 4 classes in one semester. That's all good, right? We're not looking at that printout to follow that exact same schedule. We're looking at that printout to actually just show us what we need. But you can take the classes at your pace, okay? The next thing that I want to note too, as far as level 4 is concerned, is just knowing that you are going to have to take some science classes. Okay. This is nursing. Nursing is a science and an art. And so, I can't speak for all schools, but I have looked at a great variety of prereqs for different schools, whether it be university or community college. And one thing I know for sure, you will be taking biology, okay? And that will include anatomy and physiology and microbiology, most likely. Now, every school does not require chemistry, and some do. What I would say is this, what I will say is this. If your school does not require chemistry, I still would suggest thinking of taking it. And the reason is because if you do want to then further yourself into a more advanced nursing program that's going to require that, you would have already had it done. So that's something that even I'm considering as well that you can consider too. So even if your school does not, say, hey, this is a prereq, just know that if you have some time to take that, why not? Right? Because you may need that later on down the line if you decide to advance your nursing career. So that's something that, I just want to throw in there as well. So, the next thing I want to talk about are the books. Okay, the books. Now, I know that within the actual core nursing program, there are a lot of physical books, like hard copy books that are very expensive. However, in your prereqs, which you probably will find, especially if you are an online student, which we'll get to that too, you are going to have something called a digital book. So you're probably going to be like, oh, books. And you're going to be expecting a book. Girl, ain't no book coming. It will be a digital book. And I'm going to tell you this right now. That is something that threw me for a loop because I'm an old school girl. I've been out of school for a very long time. And so I'm used to hard copies. So, this new school situation is like, oh no, it's all on the iPad. Just download it. You can read on that. No, I can't do that. So I found quickly that although not having a physical hard copy book, the professors, especially in your science classes, are going to give you PowerPoints. And I printed them off for each lesson my first semester. However, I will say that for my second semester, I went ahead and purchased the leaflet book. So, and here's the thing, y'all. Again, talking about books. Even when you go to your school's bookstore to purchase a hard copy, it probably won't be a hard copy, especially if it's anatomy and physiology. It'll probably most likely be this leaflet situation. Which, hold on, let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is my anatomy and physiology 1 and 2 binder. Okay, actually, Let me take that back. This is my Anatomy and Physiology 2 binder, but it has the textbook for 1 and 2. The other binder is somewhere else, okay? But it's as thick as this one. The Anatomy and Physiology binder, this is the thickness, okay? Now, what I mean by a loose leaf textbook is that when you get this, see, for instance, like this right here, it will be like this. You see these holes right here? So basically, you'll be able to put your book into a binder. So a lot of times, it's not going to be an actual hard copy. If you do want the hard copy, it is available, but for twice the price. This was only about $40, and I bought or purchased both my microbiology leaflet textbook and my anatomy and physiology leaflet textbook. Much cheaper, okay? Now, if you have, like I said, like a grant or a scholarship, something like that, then they most likely will pay for that for you. Also, I want to note this too. If you are doing digital materials, they are included within the class, but they still might charge you, right? Always ask, is there any program that helps cover the price of books at your school? Because fortunately for me, I have never had to pay the price of digital course materials at my school because they have a program I can actually sign up for to have it covered. And so I'm very thankful for that, but I had to ask. So really talk to the people in financial aid and different things like that to really see where programs are available to help you, because you don't want to just be out here spending money when you don't have to, right? So that's just like a tip there. I'll always ask. I'm definitely going to be like, hey, is there a foundation or anything like that that helps pay for this? Okay. So that is the tea on the books, right? Hard copy, very expensive. Leaflet, cheaper. Digital course materials, absolutely free, most likely. Okay. But if you're like me and you need paper, you need pen, I do suggest actually just getting the leaflet copy. And I suggest that for your harder classes. You're going to have some classes like English, composition, and different things like that. They're not going to be difficult. Most likely, you will not need the textbook either in leaflet or hard copy. The digital course material will be just fine for that. Any electives, they're going to give you digital course material. Again, it will be just fine. You'll be fine with that. The reason I say with your science classes is because these lecture exams, they're serious and you want to pass them. So you want to give yourself every passing chance and you want to give yourself all the information that you need. I also enjoy having my actual copies of the book for my career, in the sense I want to look back on this stuff. I actually want to go back and read some of these things I didn't read because I was actually going so fast to study, right? So I love my microbiology book because they do have these different like case studies. Read those because I promise you, you won't forget them, and they're actually really good stories. So anyway, yeah. But that's all the tea on the books. Okay, so now we'll move on to the next thing on the list, and that is going to be your GPA matters, your grade point average. So if you're starting on a clean slate, guys, and you're taking everything from scratch like I did, as far as the prereqs are concerned, then you have a clean slate. So once you pass your entry level test, they're going to actually put you into the college level courses for English and math, and then you'll start your sciences, right? And so just know that for some of these classes, you definitely have to pass the other class. If you're taking, probability and statistics, okay, that's good. You got to pass that to get to the next thing, right? And a lot of times within a pre nursing program, you're going to have to pass that math and that English before ever moving on to science. So I had to pass my math class in order to actually get to my science class. So keep that in mind too. These things, they add up, right? And they piggyback off of one another. So just keep that in mind when you're thinking about your grade. So we're almost done. More about the GPA. Also, you want to kind of have an idea of why you want to be a nurse and where you want to end up, because let's say that you're starting this program, but you know you want to be a CRNA, then CRNA school is expensive, one, and also you need to have a good GPA, okay? If you know you want to be an advanced practice nurse, I would just suggest keeping your GPA between 3.5 and 4.0. That gives you the highest chance of actually advancing your nursing career if you choose to do that in the future. So grades do matter. I think it's good for you to do your best, like your personal best. Now, if your personal best is a C, that's different, but do not be lazy. Okay, that's the key, right? Do what actually can do. Give it your all, give it everything that you can within reason. So, yeah, that's my thought on that. And grade point averages, right? Hopefully, I answered a lot of questions in this video and I really kind of went through in detail and really shared, the things that, like I said, we often forget because we're in it, looking out, not out looking in. So, yeah. But if you guys have any questions or any suggestions, let me know. And hope you guys have a peaceful and productive rest of your day. And I will talk to you on the next flip.